reach the auditorium any moment now. Please bear with us, they have already left the main block. We are expecting them any time now. Okay, could you please correct that echo? Yeah, now the sound is clear. Thank you. Yes, the dignitaries have arrived at the auditorium. Please rise and welcome them by putting your hands together. Thank you. You may please be seated. A very good morning, everyone. It's indeed a very proud and memorable day in the history of RSET, as we officially declare the autonomous status conferred on this institution. On behalf of the management and staff of RSET, let me extend a very warm welcome to all the distinguished guests, parents, and students who have joined us in person and in the online mode. Rajagiri anthem uplifts the souls and fills the hearts of every Rajagirian with pride for being a part of this institution and makes them hold their heads high. Let's begin the function with the Rajagiri anthem and request everyone to kindly rise for the anthem. Request everyone to kindly rise for the anthem. Please be seated. I'm extremely pleased to introduce our beloved director, Reverend Dr. Jose Kuriadat CMI. He was a professor of sociology at Sacred Heart College, Thevra, from 1980 to 2000 and retired as a principal of the college. He has a doctoral degree in sociology and did postdoctoral research in sociology at the Catholic University of Leuven, Belgium. He was also a visiting fellow at the Fordham University, New York. Reverend Dr. Kuriadat has published 7 books and many scientific articles on sociology of religion. After retirement, he has donned many caps, which consist of pastorship of Holy Cross Parish, Toronto, Canada, for more than 7 years, the General Counselor for Education and Communication Media of the CMI congregation for more than 4 years, and prior of the Sacred Heart Monastery, and the manager of Sacred Heart College Autonomous and other educational institutions of the congregation in Thevra, Kochi. Prior to assuming the position as the director of RSET in October 2020, he was serving in the capacity of the Provincial Superior of the Sacred Heart Province Kochi of the CMI congregation. Let me invite Dr. Jose Correa at CMI to deliver the welcome speech.
Good morning to all of you. Reverend Father Benin Alcaraz, CMI, Provincial and Manager, and presently the President of this meeting, respected Vice Chancellor Dr. Rajashree MS, Honorable Sri Haibi Eden MB, Dr. Anil D. Sahasrabuddhe, the Chairman of AICTA, Sri P.T. Thomas MLA, Dr. Professor Srijit, the Principal, Srimati Ajita Tangapan, Municipal Chairperson, distinguished guests, former directors, principals, vice principals, Reverend Fathers, members of the faculty and of the non-teaching staff, dear students, ladies and gentlemen. It is with a great deal of pride and satisfaction that I stand here to cordially welcome all of you to this official inauguration and formal declaration of the autonomous status of our Rajagiri School of Engineering and Technology. As you all know, the autonomous status was conferred on our college by the UGC, and the university officially communicated the same at the beginning of this academic year. Rajagiri School of Engineering and Technology was established in 2001 as part of an ongoing endeavor by the priests of the CMI congregation to take creative steps in the field of education, following the legacy of their founder, Saint Kuriakos Elias Chavara, who initiated an educational movement in the 19th century Kerala and paved the way for the integral transformation of the society. Having been convinced that only a spiritually motivated movement with an inclusive vision of the society under the universal fatherhood of God, the congregation has been working ever since for the enlightenment and empowerment of the society, first in Kerala, and now, after almost 2 centuries, in 34 countries, not only through religious and spiritual institutions, but probably more visibly through more than 800 educational institutions, ranging from lower KG to professional colleges and to a university. The Rajagiri institutions among the CMI institutions stand out as icons or beacons of excellence and innovation. Regarding RSET, it is one of the premier institutions of engineering education in Kerala and is the first and only private engineering college in the state to be included in the NERF ranking. It has A grade in NAC accreditation, and its courses are NBA accredited also. It has 8 BTech programs, 5 MTech programs, and has recognized PhD centers in 8 different disciplines. Having more than 3,200 students on the rolls, it is also one of the largest engineering colleges in this part of the country. It provides excellent facility, not only for higher education, but also in placements, opening up to 90% of the students. It has well-equipped facilities for student entrepreneurship, incubation, and startups, and a wide network of placement tie-ups through dynamic interaction with the industry. To facilitate and maintain such tie-ups, we have student exchange and internship programs with the several universities, including some in foreign countries like Germany, Japan, Australia, and UK. It was in consideration of all such developments of the last 20 years that RSET was granted autonomy this year. It is this special recognition of growth and excellence that we are celebrating today with the formal inauguration and official declaration of the autonomous status by the Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Rajashree MS. Dr. Rajashree has been the Vice Chancellor of APJ Abdul Kalam Technological University from February 2019 and is currently guiding it ably in its infancy. After her BTech in Computer Science and Engineering in 1989 at NIT Calicut, Dr. Rajashree did MTech and PhD at IIT Madras. And from 2006 to 9, she was the principal of LBS Institute of Technology, Trivandrum. Later, she joined the CET Trivandrum as Professor of Computer Science and Engineering and taught there for 3 years. Next 5 years, she headed the Indian Institute of Information Technology and Management Trivandrum as its director. In 2017, she was appointed the principal of Government Engineering College, Barton Hill, and in 2019 as the VC of KTU. She is an experienced managing director with a demonstrated history of heading institutions which specialize in computing and IT-based academics, research and development with strong industry focus and promotion of entrepreneurship initiatives. She has special interest in large-scale software system design and architecture. Though currently an administrator, Dr. Rajashree is an active academician and researcher even now. On our request, she has traveled all the way from Trivandrum in order to be physically present here for this official inauguration, for which RSET is greatly indebted to her. On behalf of RSET and all those who are gathered here, I extend to you, ma'am, a cordial welcome. Reverend Father Benny Nalkaras, CMI, who presides over this meeting, is our provincial superior and the manager of the RSET. Before being elected as the provincial superior last year, he was a professor of theology and Bible at Dharmaram Vidyashetram, Bengaluru, an Athenaeum of Ecclesiastical Studies, and also a formator of young candidates to priesthood at the CMI Common Seminary. He is also a good orator and writer. Our sincere welcome to you, Father. Sri Haibi Eden, our MB, is a former student of Sacred Heart College, Tevara, another autonomous institution of higher education run by our province. Starting as the General Secretary of KSU-led union at Sacred Heart College, Sri Haibi later became the State Committee President of the Kerala Students' Union and also the President of NSU. He was a member of the Legislative Assembly of Kerala twice from 2011. Apart from his leadership abilities, Sri Haibi is a man of very endearing personality, always ready to be with us in our needs. I cordially welcome you, sir, to this meeting on behalf of all gathered here. Professor Anil D. Sahasrabuddhe, currently the chairperson of AICTA, joins us now online from Delhi. As you know, AICTA, along with the university, is the chief guiding and supervising institution of an engineering college. And we are privileged to maintain a very cordial relationship with AICTA and its chairman, Professor Sahasrabuddhe. Professor Sahasrabuddhe was a gold medalist during the graduate studies. He obtained his master's and doctorate from Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. Then he taught for 11 years at IIT Guwahati and was also a lecturer at NERIST, Itanagar. Afterwards, he served as the director of the College of Engineering, Pune, for 10 years before being appointed the chairman of AICTA. During his student years and later during his career, he has received 7 national awards and fellowships and is currently a member of 5 different professional bodies at the national level. Sir, we consider your online presence as a mark of your appreciation for the development of RSET, and I happily welcome you to this inaugural function. Sri P.T. Thomas MLA, an active member of the International Congress for long years, was MB from Idukki from 2009 to 14. He was a member of our Legislative Assembly 3 times in 1991, 2001, and now from 2016 onwards. Since the Assembly is in session, he cannot be physically present here. So he felicitates RSET online. A cordial welcome to you, Sir Sri P.T. Thomas. Dr. Srijit P.S., our principal, needs no welcome since he heads the organizing committee of the program. However, for introducing him to you, Dr. Srijit, after completing his MTech from IIT Kanpur and PhD from IIT Madras, briefly worked in the industry prior to joining academia. During his tenure with Cochin University of Science and Technology, where he has been a professor since 2006. He served as the principal of College of Engineering, Kuttanad, and School of Engineering, KUSAT, and he also served as a syndicate member of KUSAT. He has published widely in international journals and has presented conference papers around the globe, and is a reviewer of international journals and publishing houses. Prior to joining RSET as its principal in June 2019, Dr. Srijit occupied the position of the Dean of the Faculty of Engineering, KUSAT. So a cordial welcome to you, sir. Srimati Ajita Tangappan, a councillor from Kennedy Muk Ward, is now the chairperson of Thrikakara Municipality. She is an experienced, long-time political worker in and around Kochi. I am sure under her leadership, the municipality will be especially helpful to RSET on its path towards growth and development. I cordially welcome Srimati Ajita Tangappan to the function. I extend a hearty welcome also to Mr. M.O. Varghese, our ward member. Cordially welcome the former directors, principals, vice principals, reverend fathers, distinguished guests, members of the teaching and non-teaching staff, students, and all ladies and gentlemen to this august gathering. I remain. Thank you.
Thank you, Father. Our principal, Dr. P.S. Srijit, is an academician and administrator par excellence. Dr. Srijit completed his BSc in Mechanical Engineering from the University of Kerala, MTech from IIT Kanpur, and PhD from IIT Madras. Subsequently, he was postdoctoral fellow at the Nanyang Technological University, Singapore, in the area of precision engineering and nanotechnology. During his tenure with the Cochin University of Science and Technology, where he has been a professor since 2006, he served as the principal of the College of Engineering, Kuttanad, and School of Engineering, KUSAT. He also served as a syndicate member of KUSAT. Dr. Srijit formerly held the position of Honorary Director, Center for Enabling Technologies for the Aged, and Director IHRD, Government of Kerala. He was a visiting professor at the King Khalid University, Saudi Arabia, Queensland University of Technology, Australia, and Multimedia University, Malaysia. Before joining RSET as a principal in June 2019, Dr. Srijit occupied the position of the Dean of the Faculty of Engineering, KUSAT. Rajagiri has scaled many heights since its inception in 2001. A novice to the Rajagiri family will be curious to know about its journey to autonomy. I would request Dr. Srijit to brief the story of this amazing journey. Sir, if you would please.
Respected President of the meeting, Reverend Father Benny Nalkara, who is our manager and provincial of SH province, Honorable Member of Parliament, Sri Haibi Eden, Honorable Vice Chancellor of APJ Abdul Kalam Technological University, Dr. Rajasri MS, respected Chairperson of Thrikakara Municipality, Srimati Ajita Tangappan, our Director, Reverend Father Dr. Jose Kuriyadat, our former Director, Reverend Father Matthew Attadra, who is sitting in the audience, Reverend Fathers, Directors and Principals of our sister concerns, Honorable Chairman of All India Council for Technical Education, Dr. Anil Sahasrabudhe, Head of Departments of Rajagiri School of Engineering and Technology, staff of the school, governing body members, academic council members, and board of studies members who are watching this program online, dear students and their parents. I am standing here with immense pleasure on this auspicious day of the declaration of the autonomous status to our prestigious institution by the Honorable Vice Chancellor of our affiliating university, Dr. Rajashree MS. At the outset, I take this opportunity to express our grateful thanks to the Member of Parliament from our constituency, Sri Haibi Eden, for his presence during this meeting. I would also like to express my earnest and sincere thanks to the Vice Chancellor, Dr. Rajashree, for traveling in the early hours and reaching over in our institution for inaugurating this function. My heartfelt thanks to the chairperson also. And as all of us will be knowing, autonomy will not be conferred on a fine morning. It requires hard work, dedication, and commitment. The Committee for Evaluation of the Autonomous Status rates on the infrastructure of the institution, the number of faculty and their quality, the publications, the results of the students, the placements, etc., and so on. And I also take this opportunity to thank the stakeholders, namely the management, for providing such facilities, the faculty and staff for their hard work in the form of teaching, in the form of publications and patents, the students and the alumni. A small report on autonomy, as Reverend Father, our director, has already informed. Rajagiri School of Engineering and Technology, RSET it is called, was established in 2001, is one of the premier private engineering colleges in the state of Kerala. RSET has been affiliated to the Mahatma Gandhi University, Kottayam, Kerala from 2001 to 2014 admissions, and is affiliated to APJ Abdul Kalam Technological University, Thiruvananthapuram, Kerala from 2015 admission onwards. The college is approved by All India Council for Technical Education, New Delhi. RSET presently conducts 7 approved BTech programs in Applied Electronics and Instrumentation, Civil Engineering, Computer Science and Engineering, Electrical and Electronics Engineering, Electronics and Communication Engineering, Information Technology, and Mechanical Engineering. A new BTech program in Artificial Intelligence and Data Science has also been added to this list from this academic year onwards. The sanctioned strength for these 8 BTech programs is 780 students. The institution conducts 5 MTech programs in Communication Engineering, Computer Science and Information Systems, Industrial Price and Control, Network Engineering, VLSI Design and Embedded Systems, with an intake of 102 students. Further, the research programs in the departments of Computer Science and Engineering, Electrical and Electronics Engineering, Electronics and Communication Engineering, Information Technology, Mathematics, and Mechanical Engineering are also conducted. RSET has been accredited by National Accreditation and Assessment Council. It has been re-accredited with A grade. 6 eligible BTech programs out of 7 out of 8 now has been accredited by National Board of Accreditation, NBA. Another feather in the cap of RSET is RSET is the first and only private engineering college in the state to be ranked by National Institutional Ranking Framework, NIRF, for technical institutions in 2020. And a small note on autonomy, the University Grants Commission in the year 2018 has introduced fresh regulations for conferment of autonomous status upon colleges and measures for maintenance of standards in autonomous colleges. And the same regulations has been notified by the Government of India in the official gazette on 12th February 2018. While letter dated 22nd September 2018, RSET submitted formal application to the UGC for conferment of autonomous status. The application was also forwarded through APJ Abdul Kalam Technological University. The UGC constituted an expert committee to evaluate the performance and academic attainments of RSET for conferment of autonomous status. The expert committee, comprising of 4 UGC members, 1 state government nominee, and 1 university nominee, visited our college during 6th and 7th January 2020 for evaluation. It is learned that the expert committee unanimously resolved to recommend to UGC to consider conferment of autonomous status to RSET in their report after their evaluation. However, the conferment of autonomous status was delayed due to the lockdown situation and other restrictions on account of the spread of COVID-19 pandemic in the country. The UGC Standing Committee, in its meeting on 19/6/2020 and 26/6/2020, finally decided to grant autonomous status to RSET for a period of 10 years from the academic year 2020 to 2021 to 2029 to 30. Final orders in this regard were issued by letter dated 15th July 2020. By notification dated 18th September 2019, APJ Abdul Kalam Technological University also September 2020, APJ Abdul Kalam Technological University also notified the conferment of autonomy status to RSET. The autonomous status is granted initially for a period of 10 years, and further it will be extended for a period of 5 years, depending upon the attainments as well as the performance of the institution. UGC regulations provide the review of existing courses to formulate new programs, evolve methods for assessment, to announce results and prescribes rules for admission. And also there has to be 4 statutory bodies to be formulated in autonomous institutions. According, they are the governing body, the academic council, the board of studies, and the finance committee. Accordingly, the governing body for RSET for the period of 2023 has been constituted and notified to ensure the proper management of RSET as an autonomous institution. The constituted governing body consists of 20 members, including the nominees of the UGC, Government of Kerala, and Kerala Technological University, and eminent persons representing various categories. Our manager, Reverend Father Benny Nalkara, CMI, is the chairman, and the principal of RSET is the secretary of the governing body. UGC has nominated Professor Lakshmi Narayan Singh, Head Department of Physics of Dr. B. Ambedkar Technological University, Lonare, Maharashtra, as its nominee to the governing body. Government of Kerala has nominated Sri Ajayan C, Additional Secretary, Higher Education Department, as nominee to the governing body. And we are expecting the nominee of the university soon. Professor P.B. Sunil Kumar, Director of IIT Palakkad, and Dr. Vinay Kumar Deduwal, Director of Indian Institute of Space Science and Technology, Thiruvananthapuram, are the distinguished and eminent educational experts in the governing body. The academic council shall be responsible for the proper maintenance of instruction, education, training, research, and examinations of RSET. The academic council for RSET also has been formed. It is a 21-member body with the principal as the chairman. All HODs, senior faculty members, and eminent educationists and industry experts from National Institute of Technology, Calicut, Kozhikode, Cochin University of Science and Technology, then Tata Consultancy Service are its members. The board of studies for each academic department of RSET have also been formed with the head of the department as chairman, all faculty members, and 2 industrial experts and alumni. The finance committee also has been constituted as per the UGC regulations. The next task before us is to conduct the end semester examinations for the first semester students of the autonomy batch. We have already published the academic calendar of the first semester, in which the end semester examinations will be over by the last week of March. The principal of the college is the chief controller of the examination. RSET has nominated Professor Vinod Kumar PB as the controller of examinations, Father Mejopol CMI, assistant professor, and Dr. Srikumar G, associate professor as the deputy controllers of examinations, and separate office of the controller of examinations will start functioning shortly. So this is what I have to report regarding autonomous status. And before winding up, I would like to place on records a friendly thanks to the conveners and members of the committee for organizing the meeting, especially the convener of the meeting, Dr. Biju Paul, and Dr. Sylvie Matthew. Also, my polite thanks to the technical committee members headed by Sri Jobin Jose and Krishnadas. Finally, a big thanks to all the participants of the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We are honored to have with us our guest of honor, Professor Anil D. Sahasrabuddhe, Chairman of the All India Council for Technical Education, AICTE, joining us online now. Actually, we have brought about a change in the program schedule because Professor Sahasrabuddhe has a busy schedule today, and he has requested us to advance his addressing of the gathering. So he will be joining us now, which means that there will be a change in the schedule. Before that, let me give a small introduction to Professor Sahasrabuddhe.
No, I think we can skip that.
Professor Sahasrabuddhe is a professor of mechanical engineering at IIT Guwahati, and he joined AICTE as chairman in July 2015. He graduated from BBB College of Engineering and Technology, Hubli, affiliated to Karnataka University, with first rank and gold medal in 1980. Subsequently, he obtained
Madam, can you
and doctoral degrees
skip it, madam?
from Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. Professor Sahasrabuddhe has held several important academic, research, and administrative positions in various institutions such as Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, Tata Consulting Engineers, Northeastern Regional Institute of Science and Technology, Itanagar, Arunachal Pradesh, and IIT Guwahati. He also served as director, College of Engineering, Pune, since 2006, on deputation from IIT Guwahati, prior to assuming the position of the chairman of AICTE. He has been bestowed with several awards, which include Maha Intrapreneur Award 2011, Lifetime Achievement Award from MIT World Peace University, Pune, and Mahatma Gandhi Leadership Award from Indian Achievers Forum and CSR Times in 2019. May I now call upon Professor Sahasrabuddhe to address the gathering. Over to you, sir, and over to the control desk. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and very happy Pongal, Sankranti, Bihu, Lori, and Uttarayan, which has started from today. It's a very auspicious occasion, and on this occasion, I would like to congratulate Rajgiri School of Engineering and Technology for getting autonomy. Reverend Father Binni Nalkara, Father Dr. Jose Kuriadat, Dr. Rajashree, Vice Chancellor of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Technological University, the Principal of the College, Dr. Srijit, Honorable MP, Hibby Eden, Sri P.T. Thomas, MLA, all other dignitaries, faculty members, and students. It must be certainly an exciting time for all of you in the College of Rajgiri School of Engineering and Technology when you are getting autonomy from the university and the University Grants Commission. Dr. Srijit already explained about the manner in which one goes through the process of getting autonomy. It's indeed a painstaking process, not easy. We have accreditation, which is also required. You also require NOC from the university. Then the ministry will set in a team from UGC to go to the institution and look at it. And then finally, UGC declares it, and university, where it is affiliated earlier, will grant the autonomy. I think it's a long drawn process, takes about a year or plus sometimes, and there is a lot of hard work which is involved. So therefore, congratulations to all the faculty members, heads of the department, deans, who have put in hard work in order to achieve this status of autonomy. Now coming back, despite the proposal for becoming autonomous, being there from several institutions. They do not get it at times because of various reasons. And on the other side, the government, right from inception, right from independence, right from Radhakrishnan report down to 1968 policy, 1986, 1992 revised policy, it has been often said that all colleges should become autonomous and the system of affiliation should be taken away. And the recent report in 2015, that was called the Cow Committee report, which was established by the Ministry of HRD then, also talked about the institutions to be given autonomy. The very recent National New Education Policy, NEP 2020, which was articulated by Dr. Kasturi Rangan Committee and all eminent people who were associated, also talked about autonomy. While there has been support system which has been provided for making institutions autonomous, not even 10 to 12% of the institutions even have applied and got the autonomy. That means there is a long way to go ahead. The NEP 2020 says by 2035, all institutions must be autonomous. They must be not just autonomous, they must be multidisciplinary, and they must all be degree awarding institutions. And therefore, autonomy is the first step to becoming a sort of a university. And therefore, the rigmarole that is involved in getting autonomy is as much as of that of getting a deemed university status or a university status wherein one can start giving degrees themselves. So it is a baby step in that direction. Let me elaborate because I was director of College of Engineering, Pune for about 9 years before coming here as chairman of AICTE, which was given autonomy by not through the process which you said, but incidentally, the process involved was that of the government of Maharashtra gave autonomy for 4 institutions. And subsequently, this rigmarole of applying for getting autonomy from UGC went on. It's a very, very interesting story because a committee was set up with the chairmanship of Dr. F.C. Kohli. You must be all aware that F.C. Kohli is called the father of software industry in India. He is the one who started Tata Consultancy Services and thereby spin-offs of likes of Wipros and Infosys and Cognizance of the world all emanated from the training given by Dr. F.C. Kohli. So the Maharashtra government then in the year 2002 established a committee under the chairmanship of F.C. Kohli along with the then director of IIT Bombay, Professor Sukhatme, and one of the very leading principals of SGGS Nanded College in Nanded. It's a Sant Guru Gobind Singh College, Principal Naik. And this committee recommended that 4 institutions on a sample basis must be given autonomy. And the state legislated and brought out a government resolution. And based on that, the autonomy was awarded to College of Engineering, Pune, VJTI in Mumbai, ICT, now it is also a deemed university called Institute of Chemical Technology, then called UDCT, and SGGS Nanded. See, these 4 colleges were given this autonomy. But people from ICT knew very well about what autonomy means because it was already acting like an autonomous organization under the University of Bombay as a separate department and was started also by the industry, by the way. The UDCT department itself was established as a spin-off of the support from the industry, and therefore they knew what is the value of autonomy. Whereas the other 3 institutions, whether College of Engineering Pune or VJTI or SGGS Nanded, hardly knew what autonomy means. And it started off in 2004. But something did not work well in the beginning, and that's why I was invited all the way from IIT Guwahati by FC Kohli to head this institution and to really transform that into a better institution. Please remember, College of Engineering Pune is 160-year-old institution. It should have been a long back a university, but it was still affiliated earlier to Bombay University and subsequently to Pune University. And it was going through as an ordinary affiliated college of the University of Pune when Pune University started. And therefore, transforming this was not easy because all the faculty members were used in the same culture of affiliation. They were also being a government institution. All problems of government, which are there in most of the government institutions, existed. And therefore, there was neither work culture, there was nothing was existing. And suddenly it was given this liberal freedom and they didn't know how to use it. And when I went there, I was shocked by many of these things, and therefore people who apply and get that through hard labor, Dr. Srijit and his entire team, that what they have done is amazing. And this is what should be the passage of getting autonomy. But then having got autonomy, now it has to be brought into right perspective. This was the college where once none other than Sri M. Vishweshwaraya, Bharat Ratna awardee, the person under whose name Engineers Day celebrated, studied in 1881 to 84, and it had gone down to such a level that it had to be resurrected. And autonomy is the pill or an injection which can really catapult from a very poor status to a good status. And that's why an institution which is already fairly good can certainly become excellent institution in no time. And that's why this autonomy is very significant. What all things can happen in autonomous institution? You can start off with having your own curriculum. Maybe you are still continuing to be affiliated to a university, but nevertheless, you have freedom to have your own curriculum. That means, unlike in a university where curriculum revision takes place little longer time because it's like lowest common denominator. There are 100 odd colleges who are affiliated and you have to take care of all of them, and therefore curriculum does not get revised so actively, so regularly as what can be done in an autonomous institution. And therefore, one big freedom which you are enjoying now onwards is that you can have your own curriculum. So all advanced areas which are happening in the world around, because we all know that technologies are changing every day, and can we bring it into the curriculum? It may not be the entire curriculum being restructured. Basic essence may continue for about 4 or 5 years, but can we add an elective? Can we change part of the course, one particular course, based on new technologies that are emerging? And this freedom one must use, thereby students will become not only employable, because some of them will convert themselves into entrepreneurs. They can create startups, they will create jobs. And that's why this freedom of academic autonomy is very, very significant. In the government college, of course, the other part of the autonomy was also important in terms of administrative autonomy, in terms of financial autonomy, in terms of governance. But in a private institution like Rajgiri School of Engineering and Technology, probably those freedom were already there. It is being run by a society, trust, or an organization where you have your own finances and you have financial freedom, unlike in a government institution. But administrative freedom away from the state government's many bureaucratic processes, if you are able to extricate out of that, I think that is what starts happening. Second part is, since the new education policy talks about multidisciplinary education, this institution must now aspire, how do we expand not just engineering, but how do we bring in management, how do we bring in humanities and social sciences? After all, students who graduate and come out, they are required to work in the society. How do we make them sensitive to the problems of the society, the rural area, the people who are not educated? How do we help them, whether it is in the sector of agriculture, whether it is in the sector of health, whether it is in the sector of our school education itself? How do we channelize our energies in terms of helping not only ourselves, our institution, but also the neighborhood? I think that autonomy will give you all kind of freedom, and I'm hoping that this particular institute, Rajgiri School of Engineering and Technology, with a passage of this autonomy, and already some of those spirits of getting involved in the social work, whether it is under Unnat Bharat Abhiyan and SAGI program, whether it is in terms of serving the poor, this trait or DNA which already exists, you can explore it further, and I'm sure you will create empathetic, very, very spirited engineers who will be able to contribute to the nation's good and your own good. Naturally, when you are involved in yourself, you will certainly take care of your family, your surroundings, your state, and the entire nation. But our spirit, our ancient wisdom in India has been already talking about two fundamental cardinal principles. Sarve Janaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Let the whole world be happy. And Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The whole world is one family. And Mother Earth, where we respect the environment, the plants, the animals, all of that is the wisdom which is there from the rishis of the ancient past. And that is where whether it is Nalanda, Takshila, Gurukula system in India, where people from all over the globe used to come. Can we reinvent ourselves? Can we again resurrect ourselves into the domain of education in a manner that, unlike our students going to America or England or Australia or Canada or Japan or somewhere else, in Singapore, how we can invite students from all over the world, becomes a melting pot of civilization where all thoughts will prosper. I think that is the spirit of autonomy. I hope you will all do that. Namaskar, thank you. I'm sorry I intervened because I have another interview to be taken by someone at 12 o'clock, then another one at 1 o'clock. So I just requested for advancement. And I am thankful to the organizers for making way after the principal's inaugural short address. I have been given an opportunity. Thank you very much, all of you. Namaskar.
Thank you, Professor Sahasrabuddhe, for that words of wisdom. In fact, he emphasized on the need for every institution to become autonomous and to uphold the social responsibility towards society for each and every institution. Thank you so very much for your words of wisdom and also your good wishes, sir. And we will move back to the original schedule now, and we'll have the presidential address now. But for that, let me introduce Father Benny Nalkara, CMI. It's my privilege to introduce him, our manager, Reverend Father Benny Nalkara, CMI. Father Nalkara has been a faculty for the New Testament and Biblical Greek in the Faculty of Theology at Dharmaram Vidyakshetram, Bangalore, prior to becoming the provincial. He was also a member of the Academic Council of Christ deemed to be University and a member of the Permanent Advisory Council of Dharmaram College since 2011. He had his higher education in sacred theology from Gregorian Pontifical University, Rome, with specialization in biblical studies. Father Nalkara has language proficiencies in a number of languages, including Greek, Hebrew, Italian, and German. As a columnist, poet, and lyricist, he regularly contributes to writing and publications. May I invite Reverend Father Benny Nalkara, CMI, Provincial and Manager, to deliver the presidential address.
Dr. Rajashree MS, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of APJ Abdul Kalam University, Sri Haibi Eden MP, Sri P.T. Thomas MLA, Mrs. Ajida Thangapan, Municipal Chairperson, Professor Anil D. Sahasrabuddhe, Chairman AICT, Reverend Dr. Jose Kuriadat, CMI, Director RSET, Dr. Srijit P.S., Principal RSET, Reverend Father Matthew Vattatara, former Director, Reverend Father Varghese Kachapalli, the Vicar Provincial, Reverend Father Saju Madavanakar, the Counselor for Education, distinguished guests, Reverend Fathers, Sisters, Deans, HODs, members of the faculties, non-teaching staff, and dear students. Indeed, it's a great day in the history of Rajagiri School of Engineering and Technology, RSET. As we all know, since its establishment as a private self-financing engineering college in 2001, RSET has been making steady and remarkable progress in all fields of its growth as a center of higher education. Rajagiri has been always ranked one of the best engineering colleges of the country, accredited with high grades and acknowledged for the quality education it provides. Trying to live up to its vision of evolving into a premier technological and research institution, molding eminent professionals with creative minds, innovative ideas, and sound practical skill, and to shape a future where technology works for the enrichment of humankind. RSET has been marching towards excellence. This new status of autonomy marks a new chapter in the history of excellence of RSET. Let us celebrate. It's a matter of great joy that we are having this declaration and celebration in this newly built huge auditorium named after St. Kyriakos Elias Chavra. 2 months back, I had the privilege to bless this auditorium. Today, I'm asked to declare it inaugurated officially. I remember with gratitude the great vision and hard work of Reverend Father Jose Alex, Archbishop Anthony Carril, Dr. Matthew Watatara, all former directors, all the fathers, and especially Professor Dr. Joseph Injodi. Their works that made this auditorium possible, and today we are able to make use of this for this celebration. With a prayer that may this auditorium become a venue for the exchange of infotainment, information and entertainment, I declare officially that this auditorium is inaugurated. Rajagiri School of Engineering and Technology is an endeavor of the Sacred Heart Province of the Carmelites of Mary Immaculate, CMI, the first ever indigenous religious congregation for men in the Syrian Catholic tradition of Christianity in India. The CMI congregation, established in 1831, played a major role in revolutionizing the education scene in Kerala in the late 19th century. Here's to the profound vision of St. Kyriakos Elias Chavra, one of the founding fathers of the congregation. The CMIs have zealously worked towards providing value-based quality education to society at large, irrespective of religious differences down the centuries. Saint Chavra was a visionary leader of the time who envisaged many plans for the spiritual and social progress of the society. His educational contributions laid a strong foundation for a just society in which all human beings were worthy of erudition, justice, respect, and dignity. His educational reforms brought a new dawn in the educational history of the state of Kerala. Saint Chavra's education vision includes inclusion, expansion and equity, excellence, and a comprehensive outlook. Today, the congregation has more than 800 educational institutions from schools to professional colleges under its umbrella. The Rajagiri institutions hold a prominent position among them and take the lead role in continuing that great legacy. It is a matter of great joy and satisfaction that this is the third autonomous college managed by Sacred Heart Province, Kochi. It has been a challenging task for RSET in the last 2 decades to establish itself in the field of engineering education, to make progress in quality, to ensure a smooth transition from the institution to the industry for its graduates, and to excel in all fields of its existence. The mission of RSET, namely to impart state-of-the-art knowledge to individuals in various technological disciplines and to inculcate in them a high degree of social consciousness and human values, thereby enabling them to face the challenges of life with courage and conviction, has been realized in a commendable way. Thanks to the far-sighted vision, profound dedication, and unparalleled commitment of its founders, directors, principals, members of the teaching and non-teaching staff, well-wishers, and thousands of students, RSET has a success story to tell to the coming generations. Today, as we declare officially the status of autonomy, I acknowledge with gratitude and congratulate all people who made it possible through their dedication and hard work. RSET's autonomous status brings to us name and fame, freedom and flexibility. At the same time, it poses before us chances and challenges. Etymologically, autonomy means self-norm. Autonomous is control on one's own affairs. Ideally, an autonomous institution is one that is able to regulate its own affairs. But in the Indian situation, it may not mean exactly the same. Autonomy of educational institutions in India is neither organically developed nor absolute. It is an idea mooted in the context of deteriorating standards of higher education in India in the affiliating system. So the shades of the colonial framework are still there in the practice of autonomy. But at the same time, the autonomy provides us with good number of opportunities and potentials for excellence. It is a golden opportunity for us to ensure the internal quality and also enhance the academic excellence. Education without quality is like a flower without fragrance. As an autonomous institution, it would be our earnest resolve to strive towards imparting high standards of teaching, training, developing human resources. Autonomy urges us to continue our march towards excellence relentlessly. We need to become not only a best institution, but a great institution. That should be done basically through making our institution an active agent of change by responding to the needs and challenges of the times. The Rajagiri quotient, RQ, the happy blending of academic excellence and social consciousness should be a catalyst in creating that change. Autonomy will provide us in improving employability of students through strong training and placement services. It will encourage innovation and self-employment. Keeping abreast of global academic culture through collaborative activities with institutions and universities, we should try to open new vistas of learning and training. Encouraging multidisciplinary or interdisciplinary activities may be one of the blessings of autonomy. Offering value-added courses beyond the curriculum, sponsored and collaborative research with industries, tailor-made training for working professionals, etc., should enhance our chances towards excellence. Autonomy requires responsibility. When we were children, our parents made choices for us. They paid the money, brought things for us. When we grew up, they gave us money to make the purchase, make the choice. We are happy, but we are confused. We have the freedom, but we have the anxieties. Autonomy demands responsibility. Let's make the right choices, take the correct decisions, and dedicate ourselves for growing from good to the great. Let our teamwork, the teamwork of the management, the faculty, and students take RSET to new heights. Autonomy is awesome. Let us smile, but miles to go before we sleep. Best wishes, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Father Provincial. I consider it an honor to introduce our chief guest, Dr. Rajashri MS, Vice Chancellor, APJ Abdul Kalam University, Kerala. Dr. Rajashri completed her BTech in Computer Science and Engineering from NIT Calicut and MTech and PhD from IIT Madras. Dr. Rajashri has had a long and distinguished career as an academician and administrator, which includes her roles as the principal of the LBS Institute of Technology for Women, Trivandrum, HOD of the Department of Computer Science in College of Engineering, Trivandrum, Director of the Indian Institute of Information Technology and Management, Trivandrum, and Principal of the Government Engineering College, Barton Hill. Dr. Rajashri has a large number of publications in international journals to her credit. We consider it a great privilege that she graciously consented to officially declare the autonomy status conferred on RSET by UGC and to inaugurate this function. The ultimate aim of education is to impart to people the light of truth and wisdom, obliterating darkness and ignorance. But to impart light to others, one has to glow oneself. As RSET embark on this new journey of autonomy, let us invoke the blessings and presence of Almighty God, the light of the world, to guide us and lead us in every step that we take in future. I invite Dr. Rajashri to inaugurate the function by lighting the lamp. Thank you, everyone, and may I now call upon Dr. Rajashri to deliver the inaugural address.
Most respected President of this function, Reverend Father Benny Nalkara, CMI, Provincial CMI SH Province. Respected MP, Ernakulam Parliament Constituency, Sri Haibi Eden. Sri P.T. Thomas, MLA Trikakra Assembly Constituency, Ms. Sajida Tangapan, Chairperson Municipality, Professor Anil Sahasrabuddhe, Chairman AICTE, Reverend Dr. Jose Kuriyadat, CMI Director, Dr. P.S. Srijit, Principal of RSET, Ms. Nadine Matthew, Dr. Vinod Kumar PB, other distinguished directors, members of the leadership team, faculty members of RSET, students, research scholars, parents, ladies and gentlemen, and other well-wishers. A very good afternoon to you all. It is a moment of pride for me as well to light the lamp to declare one of the prestigious colleges under APJ Abdul Kalam Technological University as autonomous. All the speakers prior to me have elaborated in detail the ins and outs of autonomy, the process, the prowess, then the responsibilities, and everything else, the freedom, the capability for excellence that autonomy brings in, everything has been deliberated upon, and it makes my responsibility very simple. Now, it is, as I said, it is one among the three colleges, engineering colleges under the university, a very young university, which is experimenting with its processes and systems. It is giving autonomy to 3 colleges now, and these are the first engineering colleges. It has been there in the state of Kerala, and there are other colleges as well, and there are well-defined processes for the governance and all the like. So with 2018 regulations of UGC, it is the institutions which are empowered to apply for autonomy and also to go ahead with it. Now, coming to the institutional excellence, we have seen from the governance reforms that the Government of India, various commissions for the governance of universities, educational institutions, the various committees that have been set up, each one of them have pointed out that autonomy can be, academic autonomy can be the linchpin for excellence, and there is no doubt about it. Now, any institution, if we take, we try to assess or we try to attribute some parameters around it, like the infrastructure, the faculty, the students, then the governance. There are several other factors which are listed, which constitute what is called an institution. And there are parameters which are derived from each one of these factors, which will be used as basic indicators when it comes to measuring the quantitative elements which can judge if the institution qualifies for some kind of grading or so. And it is not as easy as we can see it. Being a 20-year-old institution, has defined and pronounced itself, its identity through various achievements and very concrete management, governance, and facilities, coupled with the hard work and vision of the faculty members and other stakeholders that has put the college in its present position. And that is what confers the present status to the institution. Now, any institution, if we take, the academic model is very important, and there is no doubt that the academic model, see, we can have our own definition of academic model, and the academic model to a great extent is restricted by the regulatory mechanisms that can come around it. Say, university could be one example, where we put some conditions for the courses, regulations and all, and there is some time also when we think of bringing in some reforms and all, it always requires its own processes to bring it in place, and there will be some overarching regulations which will be controlling certain other things which can quickly take the institution to excellence, and that hindrance is kind of taken away from the institution with the conferment of autonomy. Now, there is also one aspect as a regulator, any regulator for that matter, which will also be putting some kind of positive control on it, which is no longer there as far as the curriculum and in teaching learning process, delivery of sessions, the academic regulations, everything is concerned. There will not be much interference from the university, but there will be some kind of overarching control which should be there. Which means that, like the president of the function has put it, with the autonomy and freedom comes responsibility as well. And it is that is also very critical in determining the success of the journey forward. And that becomes very critical because we have a group of people, and it should be made clear that we have a vision that is set for the institution, a long-term vision and a short-term vision, and how we take this vision forward as a single unit. But in the other case, even if there are some differences or some kind of conflicts within the system, there is some kind of regulatory mechanism outside that is coming into picture and regulating these sort of things, which will put us always in a safe position. Now, this is totally lacking in an autonomous environment, and that responsibility has to be internalized by each one of the stakeholders of the system, and that I believe is a critical factor in determining the success of the institution. There is no other person or no other agency or institution to be shouldered upon the responsibility. Okay, this happened because of that. So if it is for good or bad, it's our responsibility to see that the leadership team, along with the stakeholders, move forward in an aligned manner to achieve the vision that is well stated, and all the internal processes and systems are strengthened to be regulating itself for its journey towards excellence. That is very critical, and that can reflect in various other ways to the society. We all know that our state thinks very conventionally in most of the things, even though we have a nice team of people, young population around us, we have immense resistance to change when it comes to some kind of regulations or some kind of restrictions or some kind of some other aspects we try to put in. There is always some resistance to change, and there are some conceived notions or some kind of prejudices in the society also, which will not be very easy to counter upon, and that has to be addressed properly. There is always room for the government also to intervene to ensure that the other kind of regulations that the government needs to make for such an institution is also put in place. So these, along with the institutional responsibilities, have to be holistically analyzed and responded upon before we embark upon autonomy and move forward. And there should be systems to review things and review the processes, review the consequences, review the impacts. We should have well-defined framework within the organization to see how it is progressing with the new system of governance and processes. So as I've said earlier, the academic model that is defined by the institution becomes its critical source of development, and we can call it the nucleus of the institution. So there you have got tremendous independence and freedom, and that itself can bring spontaneous changes in the organization. And that too, in this present context where we have, for the past 1 year, we have been redefining the way institutions work. We have been redefining academic models. We have been redefining governance models, and everything with sudden developments. If we look back, some changes that would have otherwise occurred with 5 or 10 years in the teaching learning process, in the academic institution governance, everything has suddenly happened in the past 7, 8 months because of the pandemic. And that shows that it is very easy to change the models and the delivery models and the processes, everything when we define and move towards excellence. That has been proven, and that becomes a very positive ingredient for the institution to dwell upon and see how easily you can design your curriculum to suit these requirements and improve your pedagogical processes to using these kind of inputs to make a quantum jump forward. So that itself will be making you connect to people elsewhere, and this connections and networking becomes very critical. So it is for engineering education, we have seen the importance, we have defined the importance, we have been following the outcome-based education and the attributes that have to be brought into the graduates. But in order to have the real feeling of how the graduate outcomes can be achieved, we have to have serious interventions in the teaching learning process and the pedagogical approaches, which would have been limited to a great extent by the systems that have been prevalent in the university, which have come to your control now, which means that you will be able to make substantial changes to the teaching learning process and pedagogy along with your curriculum to make very quick changes, which will involve interventions of other institutions in making networks with the right people, making interventions with the right industry, and making good programs. And if you design a program, don't be under the impression that this academic program is going to be forever, but it is for 2 years or 3 years. Then after 3 years, you look at what is new and bring in that, which means that the response to the changing needs of the industry, the changing needs of the government, the changing global needs can be very very efficiently addressed by the system, and that has to be planned and advanced. And there will not be enough time for making research and then moving towards to novel programs and innovative areas. But we have to take it that these will be very short-living programs. In that case, what does it mean? The stakeholders, mainly the faculty members, have to be everyday learners, and they should be updating themselves and innovating day by day, and they should be advancing their research, improving their networking capabilities. So that defines the crux of autonomy for you. And I'm of the strong belief that with the credentials, with the proven credentials and the brand that the institution has established over the 20 years of existence, this is not going to be a hard exercise in front of you. You have a committed management which is there to lead you along with the people, the leadership team of each of the organizations, where you can sit together and deliberate upon what new things can be brought in. And the interdisciplinarity, as many of the other speakers have brought in, has to be organic, which means that it has to come from the beginning. It is not interdisciplinarity for interdisciplinarity, but it can happen in very organic ways. Another important aspect that you need to look at is the translational space, how the research and academic programs that are derived in the institution is translated to use for practitioners, for helping people, for society improvement, and for government systems. How we can reach to the region and prove that such an institution is existing here and it is there to intervene in the problems of the people. And that itself defines the most important aspect of your academic model. As we have seen from our experience, every institution will be judged by the community around it, be the state or the government or the people or the nationally, with its contributions outside. And those contributions have to be very significant in terms of starting new enterprises, starting new businesses, and also by meaningfully addressing the immediate needs of the people around. Thus, in every dimension, the institution can perform, and you have to have specific centers or specific components in the institution which is addressing each one of these and contributing, and then feeding back to the curriculum and the pedagogy how these contributions can be improved. The system which continuously gets feedback and improves itself will be long-lasting and it will be sustainable, and that is where we have to prove the success of what is conferred upon you, the autonomy. I'm praying that you will be able to take it forward, and I wish the institution good luck. I congratulate the team behind it, headed by the principal of the college, strongly supported by the leadership and management for having come to this point. And I hope the institution has several years to go ahead, especially in the context of the new educational policy, NEP 2020, which doesn't want to see any affiliated institutions by year 2030. This institution will be able to come up with its own strength and capabilities as one of the globally recognized institutions. Wish you good luck. Thank you for the opportunity to interact with you, even in the middle of this pandemic and difficulties. I wish good luck once again. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, ma'am, for that very comprehensive and detailed description on what is autonomy. I'm sure all of us might have had some idea about what autonomy is and what are the kind of honors that is entrusted on an institution if you have to uphold the status of autonomy. Thank you, ma'am. And now we move on to the next program. This is an alumnus of Sacred Heart College, Thevra, an institution of CMI Sacred Heart Province. We are extremely delighted and proud to have Sri Haibi Eden, Member of Parliament, with us today. Starting his political career as a general secretary of the KSU-led Students' Union of Sacred Heart College, Thevra, he went on to become the state committee president of the Kerala Students' Union, KSU, which he held until 2009. Later, he became the president of the National Students' Union of India, the students' wing of Indian National Congress. He was elected to the Legislative Assembly of Kerala from Ernakulam Assembly constituency in 2011, making him the youngest member of the Assembly, and was elected in 2016 for a second term. In 2019 Lok Sabha election, he won from the Ernakulam Parliament constituency by a whopping margin of 1.6 lakh votes. Let me invite Sri Haibi Eden to offer the felicitations.
The president of the ceremony, Provincial of CMI SH Province, Reverend Father Benny Nalkara, Director Reverend Father Jose Curiad at CMI, Honorable Vice Chancellor of the APJ Abdul Kalam Technological University, Dr. Rajashri MS, Chairman of the ICT, Professor Anil D. Sabsrabde, Sri P.T. Thomas MLA, Chairperson of the Trikakara Municipality, Mrs. Ajida Tangapan, Principal Dr. P.S. Srijit, Dr. Vinod Kumar, Ms. Nadin Matthew, distinguished guests of the dais, Reverend Father Varghese Kachapalli, Reverend Father Mundadan, Reverend Fathers, teachers, students, online, offline, friends of this wonderful institution. It's a great honor, privilege, and a proud moment for all of us to gather here on this very auspicious day. The Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Rajashri, have clearly mentioned what exactly autonomy means and what exactly is the significance of autonomy. I have a very close association with the institution. Right from my college days in 1999, being a pre-degree student of Sacred Heart College, that is the first time I had to address a gathering like this in my life during an election campaign. So the confidence I've built is through this institution. And I'm always very proud to say that I'm an alumni of the CMI institution. It's always a great honor to be speaking in many different institutions like this. Being a people's representative, I always get the privilege to interact with students. And being a member of the parliament, it always gives me an added advantage to understand in the lawmaking process, to understand a young perspective, what exactly the young people of this country wants. When I stepped into the auditorium, I was very happy. I've been to many colleges, many institutions, have many of my educational programs happening. But I'm very happy to say that this is the most biggest and most prettiest auditorium I have to be in any other institution in Ernakulam and in Kerala. The acoustics is excellent, the infrastructure is excellent, and I'm pretty sure that the provincial and the manager would definitely allow me to hold my next educational program in this very big platform. Kerala has always been in the forefront of the education scenario. the primary general education scenario is quite strong enough. 200 years back, we started the formal education system in Kerala. And the very proud auditorium is named in the name of Saint Kuriakose Chavare Elias, who was a pioneer in understanding what education is, he had a vision for the educational institutions across Kerala. The 800 institutions which was mentioned here was initiated by Saint Chavara Kuriakose Elias. He was a social reformer, and under his guidance, I think these are the foundation stones which was laid by him, later which Kerala expanded the system of education. And that is how we are, being a Malayali, we are always fortunate to say that we have one of the finest primary general education systems in Kerala, which always gives an added advantage to be the best in the higher education scenario, where we have a 19% of students going into the higher education scenario after the general education scenario, which is one of the highest in the state compared to the other states, highest in the country compared to the other state. 19% of a country's education, where higher education scenario is accessible, is from Kerala. So that is bigger than the national average. And our system is so well connected that even we have the National Right to Education Act in place. Right before that, we are all fortunate that we were born in Kerala. We have institutions like these to get our students graduated in many different institutions. So this is an added advantage. Right before the Right to Education Act came into existence, we were all granted the access to education. Even we have a law passed by the parliament. In northern parts of India, we still have students who doesn't have accessibility to education, being based on the gender, based on caste. Still, girls and Dalits have been denied education on many different platforms. So I think we are very much advanced in the field of education. The greatest step we are taking towards autonomy, which was granted in 2014 when Sri Ummanchandi was the Honorable Chief Minister of Kerala. 9 colleges were granted the autonomous privilege, in which Sacred Heart College, St. Teresa's College, St. Albert's College, even one college from the government sector, Maharaja's College, was also included in that. But we have a lot of misconceptions about academic freedom. Autonomy is always about academic freedom. There are always debates about giving autonomy to colleges, and I think that over the past 6 years, we have understood what autonomy exactly means. And it is purely academic freedom, right? Where our Vice Chancellor have mentioned, we can make our own curriculums, we can have our own exams. And I don't think it's an easy task for the management and the faculty sitting out here. They won't be having any break in the coming years, I'm pretty sure about that. I've seen St. Teresa's, I've seen Sacred Hearts in the past years. They have done excellently well in maintaining the autonomy. We have all seen a very, very famous movie called The Spider-Man. There is a saying in Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. I believe that with the autonomy status, it's also a great responsibility for the management, faculty, and students to make sure that our academics entering a new, greater, higher level. And I'm pretty sure that the Technical University Vice Chancellor will be always keeping you under a scan, under their radars, to make sure that our system is prim and proper. I'm extremely happy to be here. As I said, we are all very privileged to be born in Kerala, to be brought up in Kerala, to get admitted in wonderful institutions like these. And this is a new step, and the notions we have, the misconceptions we have about academic freedom, about autonomy, has to change in the coming years. And I'm pretty sure that Rajagiri would be a fine example of how we can run a successful autonomy in the coming years. Thank you once again. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Sri Haibi Eden. Now, Sri P.T. Thomas is a member of the Kerala Legislative Assembly, representing Trikakara Assembly constituency. Though by profession he is an advocate, he has devoted his entire life to public service. This is his third tenure as a member of the Kerala Legislative Assembly, as he has represented the Thodupuzha Assembly constituency twice earlier in the years 91-96 and 2001-2006. He is also a former member of the Parliament who represented the Idukki Parliament constituency from 2009 to 14. And he was also elected as the second best performing MP of the 15th Lok Sabha. As the Legislative Assembly is in a session, he has not been able to be with us in person this day. Nevertheless, he has given us a recorded message, which will be played now. Over to Control Desk.
School of Engineering and Technology. കേരളത്തിലെ ആദ്യത്തെ ഓട്ടോണമസ് കോളേജായി പ്രഖ്യാപിക്കുന്ന ഈ മഹനീയ ചടങ്ങിന് തൃക്കാക്കര MLA എന്ന നിലയിൽ എല്ലാ ആശംസകൾ നേരുകയാണ്. ഈ മഹനീയമായ ചടങ്ങിൽ പങ്കെടുക്കുന്ന KTU വൈസ് ചാൻസലർ, AICTയുടെ ചെയർമാൻ, ബഹുമാന്യനായ ഹൈബിയുടെ MP, ബഹുമാനപ്പെട്ട പ്രൊവിൻഷ്യൽ ഓർഗൻ ഫാദർ ശ്രീ ബെന്നി നവീൻ, പ്രിയങ്കരായ രാജഗിരി സ്കൂൾ ഓഫ് എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് ആൻഡ് ടെക്നോളജിയിലെ പ്രിയപ്പെട്ടവരായ അധ്യാപക ശ്രേഷ്ഠർ, വൈദിക ശ്രേഷ്ഠർ, വിദ്യാർത്ഥികൾ, അഭ്യുദയകാംക്ഷികൾ, പ്രിയപ്പെട്ടവരെ, നിയമസഭാ സമ്മേളനം നടക്കുന്നത് മൂലം ഈ ചടങ്ങിൽ നേരിട്ട് പങ്കെടുക്കാൻ കഴിയാത്തതിനുള്ള ദുഃഖം ഞാൻ അവസരം രേഖപ്പെടുത്തുകയാണ്. എന്റെ നിയോജകമണ്ഡലത്തിൽപ്പെട്ട രാജഗിരി എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് കോളേജ് പുതിയൊരു തലത്തിലേക്ക് കടക്കുന്ന ഈ ഘട്ടത്തിൽ ഈ എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് കോളേജിന്റെ എല്ലാ നല്ല പ്രവർത്തനങ്ങൾക്കും ആശംസകൾ നേരുകയാണ്. കേരളത്തിലും വെളിയിലും ഇന്ത്യക്ക് വെളിയിലും നിരവധി ടെക്നോക്രാറ്റുകളെയും സാങ്കേതിക വിദഗ്ധരെയും അതോടൊപ്പം തന്നെ എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് ബിരുദധാരികളെയും ഒക്കെ വാർത്തെടുക്കുന്നതിൽ രാജഗിരി എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് കോളേജ് നടത്തിയിട്ടുള്ള സേവനങ്ങൾ, അതോടൊപ്പം രാജഗിരി കോളേജുമായി ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട മറ്റ് ഇൻസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂഷൻ നടത്തിയിട്ടുള്ള വലിയ പങ്കാളിത്തം ഈ അവസരം ഞാൻ ആരംഭിക്കുന്നു. നമ്മുടെ വിദ്യാഭ്യാസ മേഖലയ്ക്ക് പുതിയതായ വളർച്ചയുടെ ഘട്ടമായി ഇതിനെ കാണാൻ ഞാൻ ആഗ്രഹിക്കുന്നു. ഈ ചടങ്ങിന് എല്ലാ ആശംസകളും നേരുന്നു. ഈ ചടങ്ങിൽ പങ്കെടുക്കുകയും അടുത്ത നഗരങ്ങളിൽ നിന്ന് വീക്ഷിക്കുകയും ചെയ്യുന്ന എല്ലാ മത വ്യക്തികൾക്കും തൃക്കാക്കര MLA എന്ന നിലയിൽ ആശംസകൾ നേർന്നുകൊണ്ട് പുതുവത്സര ആശംസകളോടെ എല്ലാ നന്മകളും നേരുന്നു. നമസ്കാരം.
Okay, that was Sri P.T. Thomas, and we are extremely thankful to him for his thoughtfulness in sharing this message with us on this auspicious day. Srimati Ajita Tangappan assumed her office as the newly elected chairperson of the Trikakara municipality after a nail-biting finish that culminated in the draw of lots. We understand that her priorities as a responsible local body administrator are ensuring safe drinking water, quality roads, and finding a permanent solution to the ever-troubling issue of waste management. I'm sure RSET will be more than happy to collaborate with the municipality in lending its technical expertise when and where required as part of our social responsibility. May I request Srimati Ajita Tangappan to offer felicitations.
ഏറ്റവും പ്രിയപ്പെട്ട പ്രൊഫസർ ജോസ് കുര്യത്ത്, പ്രിൻസിപ്പൽ ശ്രീജിത്ത്, പ്രിയങ്കരനായ ഏറ്റവും ബഹുമാന്യ വൈസ് ചാൻസലർ, ഏറ്റവും പ്രിയങ്കരനായ നമ്മുടെ ഹൈബി ഈഡൻ MP, ഏറ്റവും പ്രിയ സുഹൃത്തുക്കളെ, തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും നമ്മൾ ഇന്ന് കോവിഡ് എന്ന മഹാവ്യാധിയെ അതിജീവിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് നമ്മുടെ ഈ രാജഗിരി കോളേജിലേക്ക് ഓട്ടോണോമി എന്ന സ്വയംഭരണ അധികാരം ഏറ്റുകൊണ്ട് വിദ്യാഭ്യാസ മേഖലയിൽ സമ്പൂർണമായ പല ഉയർച്ചകളിലേക്കും നമ്മുടെ വിദ്യാർത്ഥികളെ എത്തിക്കുന്നതിൻ്റെ ഭാഗമായിട്ട് നടത്തുന്ന ഈ ചടങ്ങിലേക്ക് എന്നെ ക്ഷണിച്ച പ്രിയപ്പെട്ട ഈ രാജഗിരി കോളേജിലെ എല്ലാ ഭാരവാഹികൾക്കും സുഹൃത്തുക്കൾക്കും എൻ്റെ നന്ദിയും നമസ്കാരവും അതോടൊപ്പം എൻ്റെ ആശംസയും അർപ്പിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് നിർത്തുന്നു. നന്ദി, നമസ്കാരം.
Thank you, ma'am. The most important stakeholder of an autonomous institution is undoubtedly the student community of that institution. Hence, let's hear it out from one of the final year computer science engineering student of RSET, Ms. Nadine Matthew, who is also the Chief Executive Officer of the Innovation and Entrepreneurship Development Cell, IEDC of RSET. Ms. Nadine.
Good afternoon. Respected Vice Chancellor of APJ Abdul Kalam Technological University, Dr. Rajashri MS, Professor Anil D. Sahasrabudhe, Chair of AICTE, Shri Haibi Eden, Member of Parliament, Srimati Ajita Tangapan, Chairperson of Trikakura Municipality, Reverend Father Benny Nalkara CMI, Provincial Superior and Manager, other dignitaries on and off the dais, respected teachers, non-teaching staff, parents, and students. Rajagiri, an institute that needs no introduction. The world-class infrastructure with high-class facilities, the efficient management and highly qualified teachers, the industrial exposure and the excellent placement records, as well as the lush green campus, makes it a dream college for every tech enthusiast out there. This institution has an endless list of accomplishments, and gaining autonomy is another crown jewel for Rajagiri. And from the bottom of my heart, I congratulate Rajagiri School of Engineering and Technology on behalf of the entire student community. Rajagiri has always had a clear vision in order to mold young minds into top-notch engineers and leaders of tomorrow. The well-accomplished RSET alumni across the world is a proof for the same. With academic autonomy, Rajagiri can further amplify its excellence beyond measures. The management and teachers now can move in their own pace. This helps students to complete their semesters on time and embark on the next phase without any delay. Changes can be made on an academic level according to the industrial needs, which helps students to be better equipped for a field that drastically grows day by day. Undoubtedly, autonomy is a great boon for all the students. Rajagiri has contributed tremendously to the field of science and technology over the years, and the sole reason for all our success and achievements is the constant support given by the university. I thank the APJ Abdul Kalam Technological University and the University Grounds Commission for granting us the academic autonomy. Now, being an autonomous college with more power to formulate decisions, Rajagiri will leave no stones unturned in the coming years. On this auspicious occasion, I would like to remember Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, the former President of India, after whom the university has been named. Dr. Kalam once found a letter in Rashtrapati Bhavan from Sir C.V. Raman, which was addressed to the then Indian President, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, citing reasons for his inability to attend his own Bharat Ratna award ceremony. Now, let's see what was in the letter. It said, "Dear Mr. President, I thank you for giving me such a great honor, but I have a problem. I'm guiding a scholar and he is submitting his thesis in December, January. I have to sign the thesis and won't be able to accept the invitation." For Sir C.V. Raman, his students' research meant more than anything. With this level of dedication and commitment, educators can build a better tomorrow by shaping the youth of today. Let me quote Dr. Kalam. "Learning gives creativity. Creativity leads to thinking. Thinking provides knowledge, and knowledge makes you great." He also said that creativity is indeed the result of education process and the environment of the school, and above all, the teacher's capability in igniting the minds of students. Without a doubt, Rajagiri has always provided an environment for the overall development of students, and our teachers have always motivated us to strive for new heights. We, the students of Rajagiri, take great pride in being a part of this institution, and I thank the management for letting me be a part of this historic moment. Let me conclude by saying that in the Queen of Arabian Sea, Rajagiri will forever remain with its head held high like a king. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Nadine Matthew. As a token of our appreciation, we would like to hand over mementos to the dignitaries on the dais. May I request our principal, Dr. P.S. Srijit, to present a memento to our chief guest, Dr. Rajashri M.S., the Vice Chancellor of KTU. Shall we have a round of applause? Thank you, sir. Next, I invite our Vice Principal and Professor in Information Technology, Reverend Dr. Jason Paul Mulerikal, CMI, to present Sri Haibi Eden with the memento. Thank you very much, Father. And lastly, I call upon Assistant Director RSET and Associate Professor in Mechanical Engineering, Reverend Dr. Joel George Pulolil, CMI, to hand over the memento to Srimadi Ajita Tangappan, the Chairperson of the Trikakara Municipality. Thank you, Father. If we ask the management to pick one person who has contributed the most to the growth of this institution from its very inception, I'm sure they won't think twice to pick the name of Dr. Vinod Kumar. Dr. Vinod Kumar, Professor in Mathematics and Dean of Postgraduate Studies, RSET, has not just witnessed, but has been a backbone in the evolution of RSET. An erudite academician, he has 47 research publications in various international journals. He's completed many research projects with funding from central agencies and has several ongoing funded projects at present. Presently, 8 research scholars are doing their PhD under his guidance. In 2018, a Center for Topology and Applications was established at RSET under his initiative. Who better to propose the vote of thanks than Dr. Vinod on this proud occasion for all Rajagirians? Dr. Vinod, if you would do the honor.
Respected President of the meeting, Reverend Father Benny Nalkara CMI, our Chief Guest, Honorable Vice Chancellor of APJ Abdul Kalam Technological University, Dr. Rajashree, Member of the Parliament, Sri Haibi Eden, Chairperson of Trikakara Municipality, Mrs. Ajita Thangappan, beloved Director, Reverend Father Jose Courier, respected Principal, Dr. P.S. Rijit, invited guests, students and parents, members of RSET family. Starting in 2001, within 20 years, RSET has reached its first major milestone, the autonomous status. After getting the first NAC accreditation in 2009, first NBA accreditation in 2014, first NIRF ranking in 2020, we have reached at this stage, maintaining one of the top positions among all the engineering colleges of the state of Kerala. All these are possible only if the institution has a great vision and guidance to reach the objectives. Imparting the vision of Saint Kuriakos Elias Chavara, a such province of CMI congregation, is managing this institution towards excellence. Reverend Father Benny Nalkara CMI, provincial of such province and manager of RSET, is guiding us to cross the marked milestones. His presence and words always inspire us and gives energy to march towards excellence. On behalf of the whole RSET family, beloved Father, may I express our sincere gratitude for your presence and blessings. As an institution in Ernakulam Parliamentary Constituency, our MP, Sri Haibi Eden, is helping us a lot in many of our endeavors. His presence is always a moral boosting. On behalf of RSET family, sir, I thank you for your presence and support. Our affiliating university, APJ Abdul Kalam Technological University, established in 2015, emphasizes to improve the academic standards of the graduate, postgraduate, and research programs in engineering, science, technology, and management. University gives students the freedom and courage to think differently, courage to discover the impossible, and to conquer the problems and succeed, thereby fulfilling the vision of our former president, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Professor Rajashree MS, the Vice Chancellor of APJ Abdul Kalam Technological University, has declared the autonomous status of our institution. She started very early in the morning from Thiruvananthapuram to reach here well before time. Her guidance and advice are inspiring to both students and faculty of the institution. Madam, on behalf of RSET family, may I express our sincere gratitude for coming all the way in spite of your busy schedule and declaring the autonomous status. Thank you, Madam. as an approving authority, All India Council for Technical Education guides us in reforming the curriculum and syllabus, sanctioning various programs, and in many other academic and administrative matters. The chairman, Professor Anil D. Sasrabuddhe, is very keen and sharp in all the matters of AICTE. Sir, your presence and thoughts really motivated us as we strive for holistic excellence. On behalf of RSET family, may I express our sincere gratitude for your presence in online in spite of your busy schedule. Thank you, sir. We are always getting the support of our local body, Trikakara municipality, in all our endeavors. The municipal chairperson, Ms. Sajida Tangapan, shared her thoughts with us. Madam, on behalf of RSET family, let me thank you for your presence. I thank our MLA, Sri P.T. Thomas, for sharing his thoughts as recorded video and for all the support he is giving. I thank our director, Reverend Father Jose Courier, and Principal Professor P.S. Rijit for the guidance and support provided to organize this function. I thank all the students and parents for joining us in this historical occasion and request your generous support to make RSET an internationally well-known institution of excellence in learning and research. As we have reached an important milestone in the career path of the institution, as the senior-most member of RSET family, as far as service to this institution is concerned, I think it is my duty and responsibility to remember the great people who laid the foundations of this institution. We sincerely place our gratitude on records for the enduring efforts they have taken to build this institution. Words are not enough to express our gratitude. Reverend Father John Parekattil, who took care of this land till 2001 and then monitored the construction of this building during the initial days. We thank Reverend Father John Parekattil for all the hard work and effort he had taken. Reverend Father Jose Alex, the first manager of this institution and served as the director of RSET for around 15 years. In fact, RSET is the dream child of Reverend Father Jose Alex. His wisdom, experience, and vision guided and contributed to many aspects in the growth of this institution. The preliminary work to apply for autonomous started when he was the director. We owe a great to Reverend Father Jose Alex for guiding us to reach here. Thank you, beloved Father, Reverend Father Jose Alex. Bishop Mar Anthony Carriel is the first director of this institution, well known for his keen, sharp, and firm administration. He took a lot of effort to start this institution. His ideas and experience helped us a lot to get accreditation. Most Reverend Bishop Mar Anthony Carriel, we sincerely express our gratitude for all the directions you have given us as we grow as an institution of international repute. Reverend Father Matthew Vattatara is well known for his teaching in mathematics. The whole process of autonomy, submitting the application to UGC and university, visit of the expert committee from UGC, and finally, order from UGC sanctioning autonomy and the university were received under his leadership as the director of RSET. Dear Father, we thank you for all the guidance you have given. Thank you, Father. RSET family thank all the former provincials and managers, Reverend Dr. Agustin Totagara CMI and Reverend Dr. Jose Cletus Pakel CMI for their prayers and blessings. We thank former administrators, Reverend Father Joby Kolkot, Reverend Father Anthony Madamanakad, late Reverend Father Thomas Kalambarambil, and the present administrator, Reverend Father John Theriadat, for the effort they had taken to build this institution. We can see the signature of Professor Joseph Njodi, former principal of Rajagiri College of Social Sciences, everywhere in this campus. In the infrastructure, aesthetics, administration, academics, everywhere he has shared his ideas and took relentless effort to see everything implemented. Sir, we thank you for all the effort you have taken to build this institution. We thank Dr. K. Babu Joseph, the first principal who created and cultivated an attitude for research among the faculty and started research activities. We thank former principals, Dr. James Jacob, Dr. A.C. Mathai, Professor M. Mahadevan, Dr. J. Isaac, and Dr. A. Unnikrishnan, former vice principals, Professor Matthew Panyikaran, and Dr. John M. George, for spending time to serve this institution with immense contributions. In this occasion, I am glad to announce that Professor M. Mahadevan has contributed a book entitled A Search in Secret India, written by Paul Brendan, to our library as a token of his appreciation for getting autonomous status. We thank late Professor Rajan V.K. Pillai, who developed the infrastructure, especially the computer labs, as we see now. We thank Professor Madhav Panikar, who initiated faculty development programs and suggested many activities for the growth of this institution. If we can see further, no doubt that we are on the shoulders of these giants, who are the pillars of this institution. We thank late Mr. A. Rajagopal and Mr. Bharathan, former administrative officers, for the service provided for this institution. Late Mr. P.J. Ignatius was the man behind all the efforts, especially from the state government in sanctioning the autonomous status. Unfortunately, the God called back him before we get the granting order from UGC. We always keep in mind all the efforts he has taken to get the autonomous status. We thank the state government, APJ Abdul Kalam Technological University, UGC, and AICT for the advice and support extended as we are moving towards our next milestone. We thank all the provincial council members, governing body members, former and present, academic council members, board of studies members, doctoral committee members, heads and staff of sister institutions, all reverend fathers and sisters, municipal council members, all the staff members who left after spending their valuable time here, RSET alumni, media, invited guests, all the committee members under the leadership of Dr. Biju Paul, technical support team, all the members of RSET family for their presence during this function. Let us strive for holistic excellence. Thanking Almighty, I remain. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Vinod. With that, we have come to the end of the official function, and we will end the function with the national anthem. I request everyone to kindly rise for the anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Everyone, kindly remain seated because we have a short cultural program arranged for you. It won't take much time, only 5 minutes. Meanwhile, I request the dignitaries on the dais to kindly join the audience. Our gratitude and appreciation. And gratitude and appreciation. You have to be with us today. This jubilation. Keep Thank you so very much, ladies, for that scintillating performance. With that, we draw the curtains on this function. We have arranged some light refreshments for you outside.